First day of the season, March 18th, 2025. Been working between snow and rain, and I don't know what happened. Wisconsin has moved into the great wind belt, 30, 40 mile an hour winds all the time. But today's the first day of the season. I'm going down to a client in Whitefish Bay. They have a gorgeous home overlooking Lake Michigan up on the bluffs. And today I'm going to go in there and start cleaning up the planting beds, probably use my Stihl Vacuum and do some pruning. So it's great to get started again here in the great state of Wisconsin, doing garden construction and maintenance. For those that are interested, either in the green industry or small construction business, I drive a 2019 Ford F-150. Not much of a specs guy, but I think it's a 3.5. I do know it has twin turbos. This crew cab truck is rated to haul up to 14,000 pounds. I wouldn't do that. That's kind of like the tail wagging the dog, I guess, if you will. Too much weight. For about 5 years, I pulled a 20-foot Wells Cargo enclosed trailer with this when I was doing construction and maintenance with my late wife. When she passed away, I backed off on the major construction projects. I didn't need to haul a mini skid steer around anymore. I didn't need the 10,000 pound capacity, which actually was never loaded more than 4,000 or 5,000 pounds. I like to overbuy instead of stretching equipment to its max. So now I haul a single axle Wells Cargo 8x12 enclosed trailer, custom built to 7 feet high, so that I don't have to bend over. I'm 6'4". I don't like bending over in trailers. I've had 3 custom built trailers from Wells Cargo over the last 34 years. And the great thing about them is they used to have a 6 or 7 year warranty, which is unheard of in the RV industry. They now have a 3-year warranty, which is still 3 times greater than the best warranty. Usually it's a 90-day warranty on enclosed trailers. Sometimes it's a 1-year warranty, but Wells Cargo is a 3-year warranty. I've never had any issues with them. This trailer was built during COVID. A couple of minor things, just some staples weren't attached to the trim inside the trailer, but that's easily fixed. And that really wasn't COVID related. They just need to use bigger staples. But I carry what I need inside there. Like I said, most of what I do now is garden maintenance for clients with large gardens. So I don't need a lot of tools, but what I need fits in that trailer. See, it's about lean management again. You don't want to have to load your truck every single day or your trailer every single day going, oh, what do I need today? It's in your trailer with the stuff you need every day. And then if I know I'm doing something specific, I will have a checklist. I use reminders on my iPhone, and I have a daily load list on there. And after dinner at night, I'll put in there if I need specific tools out of my pole barn for whatever I'm doing that day. If I need a different rake or different shovel or whatever it might be, a different organic chemical to apply that day. So it's all about being lean. That saves a minimum of a half hour every day if you're using an enclosed trailer. If you're a contractor and you're loading your truck every day, do the math. That's what I did when I hurt my back in 2000. And the next spring, at first I hurt my back in the fall. Next spring I bought my first 20-foot enclosed trailer from Wells Cargo, because by the time you unload and load, it's an hour a day. Do the math, 1 or 2 people. Trailer pays for itself, not in a year, but it will pay for it probably in 2 years, and you'll have happier employees because they're not having to grab stuff every day and you're not forgetting something. I've seen large landscape contractors where they have to load their trucks every day with different crew, and they get to the job and they forgot a key shovel or something that they needed. So that's why I haul the enclosed trailer. It's easy to connect and disconnect. And that's it. Like I said, it just makes my life very easy when I'm out doing garden construction or maintenance projects. I'll keep driving here on my way to Whitefish Bay. What's great about Whitefish Bay is a lot of these homes were built in the 1920s, 1930s. Quality craftsmanship. They don't tear a lot of these homes down. Usually if someone buys them, they completely renovate them. And it's a walkable, bikeable community. You'll see at the grade school and high school, the first time I drove by, it amazed me. There were literally hundreds and hundreds of bikes parked outside the school. All the kids can ride from their house to the school safely, because other than this one main road, which is Lake Drive, all the rest are kind of like quiet little neighborhood streets. Lake Drive is major north-south road connecting Whitefish Bay down to Shorewood, down to Milwaukee. Lots of big old stately homes on this road. There always seems to be somebody that's renovating one of these homes every year, or they're doing a major garden renovation. I'm just going to pull up here. Those plants that are protected there are not my clients. This is my client's home right here. And you actually have to park a little bit on the grass, or these people will take out your they will take out your mirror, I think. So I'm here and it's time to get to work. Start cleaning up the gardens, cleaning up the leaves, get it ready for spring and lots of blooms. When you're cleaning up in the spring, critical thing to do is, like in this euonymus here, is you got to get all the leaves out of here. I sucked most of the leaves out of here late November, but I see some more have washed in. So I like to get those out, get these big branches out of here. But I'll come in here with my Stihl vacuum and I'll suck all the leaves out of here, because you want ventilation, you want air movement through there. And if you leave the leaves in there, then there's no air movement and you can get more disease, that type of stuff. Then if you come up here, I let daylilies usually go until the spring. One, it acts as a little bit of insulation to the crown of the plant for the daylily. When I pull these back today to clean these off, you might see some new growth pushing through there. But like I said, the other key thing is very easy. This will take me just a few minutes to pull these spent flower stalks and foliage off of here. If you do it in the fall, it's hard to do because it's green, so you've got to cut it. But I'll clean that up. And then over here, we've got these gorgeous climbing hydrangeas on this trellis. These have been in for, I think, 4 years now. I think that's when I put them in. But same thing's critical here. We've got daylilies all along here. That's got to get cleaned up. And you don't want leaves down around the base of this, because in the winter mice may come in there, set up home in a great insulated condo, and then start gnawing on the bark. What's great about this climbing hydrangea is I think it's as nice in the winter. You see all the exfoliating bark? I think they're as nice then as when they're blooming. It's really interesting. And they grow, they use what are called holdfasts. So they will, if you put this on a brick wall or wood, it will adhere to that. So just think of that. You can see all the holdfasts going down here. And this blooms on last year's growth, so I can't do a lot of pruning on this until after it blooms late this spring. I've got to clean all this up. Once again, I sucked all the leaves out of this in November of last year, but you can see what's gotten back in here. But I'll clean that up very easily with the Stihl vacuum, which you'll be able to see. Clean it all up in here, straighten these lights up that got knocked over by a snowblower or a shovel. And then we'll start cleaning up the rest of the garden. The rest of the garden has, you've got to do some pruning over here, clean up around these coral drift roses, and then catmint, clean up all the leaves around there, maybe cut those back a little bit. Allium's already starting to push. Come over here and see the allium's already pushing. It's 54 degrees today, but we're supposed to get 1 to 4 inches of snow tomorrow. That's why I'm out here cleaning up now. So the lights transformer screwed up. Got to fix that. These are some gorgeous hydrangea, which I'll be pruning back hard here today. We've had a terrorist rabbit or squirrel problem the last few years, but I use liquid fence every month, and it works great. Well, we've already gone through here and picked up all the sticks, because when I use a Stihl vacuum, the sticks, it'll suck the stick up and then it gets jammed in the blower. But I clean this up. Is that a real rock or is that artificial? That is an artificial rock. When we did this project, there was no place to stage heavy boulders, so we worked with a company that makes a lot of the artificial outcroppings and rocks you see at theme parks across the United States. All these are artificial, every one of these. My late wife Cheryl and I could pick these up, 2 people, or use it, pick them up in a ball cart, all hollow inside. They're great. They're not inexpensive, but they're actually less costly than real boulders because the labor involved. We just picked these up in the bed of our trailer, our enclosed trailer, brought them over here and installed. But they're great because you can't tell artificial from real. If you're old enough, you know the Memorex commercial. Is it real or is it Memorex? I'm aging myself there. Show you one more over here. Same thing. That's an artificial rock. Fiberglass, it's going to last forever. So let's go on to the next portion of taking care of this garden. I've got to get Flexi and some gloves, and we'll clean up the daylilies here, and then the next step is going to be getting the vacuum out. When I'm cleaning up plant materials, I use these bags. I call them Flexis because they reduce to storage. I can get 4, 6, 7, 8 of these in my trailer at a time if I want to do it. And all you do is unhook it. Instead of people using 5-gallon buckets, it's much lighter, and it works great. So I use that. I also use knee pads. I don't care how old you are. It's never fun to kneel on concrete. It's not bad when you're in planting beds. But it's no fun when you're on concrete. I always use 2, so I can always move one ahead of me. And all you have to do when you're doing this, you're just going to come in here and you're just going to pull these off. It's good for your triceps. See how easy those are to pull out of there? It's not rocket science. Pull the stalks right out of there. That works great. I'm going to finish up the rest of these, not going to bore you with that. And then we'll move on to the next part. What I've done is I've come through here, pulled all the daylilies up, got some leaves and stuff out from underneath these climbing hydrangeas. Same thing on this side. I've gotten all the daylilies out from underneath the leaves. The reason why I don't pull the leaves is I use a Stihl vacuum, and the Stihl vacuum reduces debris like that 10 to 1. So instead of having to use a bunch of these Flexi containers, or I have bigger containers, I can use just a few because it'll reduce it 10 to 1. So I've got that pulled out. I pruned some horizontal branches that had grown on the ground. Got rid of that so I can come in here and vacuum this up nice and neat. All right, in this section, I thought I was recording some of the greatest audio ever for videos. Obviously, my microphone decided not to work. What I'm pointing out is that I do use a Stihl vacuum to clean up these planting beds, but I also have that exact same tool as a handheld blower. As you've seen from previous videos, and I think I even mentioned it in this video, big fan of lean management. So instead of having to take 15, 20 minutes to change this over, depending on when I need it, because I go back and forth. I actually have two of these. I have this one set up as a vacuum. I have one set up as a blower. I carry them both in my trailer so that I can switch back and forth. And if I need to clean up debris, the vacuum is so much better than trying to use a rake or a shovel and a scoop shovel, or a broom and a scoop shovel. And if it works great as long as I remember to close the end of the bag after I empty it. There's been more than one time where I have taken the bag off. It detaches right there at the black hose. I've taken it off, went and dumped it in the trailer or put it in one of the flexis, and then started to vacuum. And sometimes I realize it right away. Sometimes I'll be vacuuming for a minute or so and realize that I'm blowing crushed leaves all over the driveway. But it works great because I can get in here, and like I said, instead of doing a rake, which is really hard, you're not going to get all the debris out of there, is you can use this vacuum. And it does, I think I mentioned in the video, it does cut the debris down by a factor of 10 to 1, I believe. Don't quote me on that, you have to look at the specs. But it greatly reduces it. So I don't have to have a big trailer behind me, dump trailer, where I have all these leaves. Like today when I got done cleaning this planting bed up in the front, I had a cubic yard of leaves that had been broken down. So if it broke it down 10 to 1, that'd be 10 cubic yards. And that would fill up a big dump trailer. And I'd much rather just carry a large 1 cubic yard bag in my enclosed trailer that I go dump this stuff in. So that's just that's what just makes this easier to do. I run Moto Mix on this. It's a Stihl Moto Mix. The engine is never clogged, start all the time. You don't have to worry about mixing 2-gallon or mixing 2 parts in a gas tank. So let's see if we can get the microphone back to working right. As I mentioned before, we got to get all the leaves out of this euonymus here so that I can get better air movement through there. And then I keep this prune pretty tight up against this wall so it doesn't come out into the planting bed. But you can see the nice decorative stone edge they have along here. It gets kind of hidden, so I try to keep that cleaned up, but the Stihl vacuum makes this a lot easier than trying to rake. Now if you look at the two sections, I've just done this short little section here. If something's really embedded in there, I'm going to have to put my hand in there to pull it out. But that's what I want this entire 15-20 foot section of euonymus to look like, winter creeper. So I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm going to just keep going. I just got done cleaning this up. You can see 99% of the leaves are out of there. One thing I've learned to embrace is the Japanese term wabi-sabi, beauty of imperfection. You're never going to get 100% of the leaves out. It's just not feasible. But I got this clean. Now, euonymus is considered, we're zone 5, but it might be considered a broadleaf evergreen. Meaning like rhododendrons are broadleaf evergreens, boxwoods, a couple other plants are broadleaf evergreens. We've had a cold winter, but you can see where leaves are piled on, they're insulated, but they're still green. I will do a root drench with this with a nice organic fertilizer and some cold pressed Norwegian sea kelp. Make sure the soil is healthy. And this will be a massive green by the middle of the summer. I'm just going to pop in here real quick. I didn't get to the pruning the other day in that garden. Had a lot of detail work that I wanted to get done. And yesterday we got about 1 inch or 2 of snow, really high winds, lost power a few times. So it's supposed to be 50 degrees tomorrow, but I don't think the snow will be melted in time. I'll get back out to that garden next week. So just remember that motion is lotion for the body and soul. Get outside, get dirty, improve both your mental and physical health. We'll see you out in the gardens.